Yeah.
And so Dan and I went through it alone by ourselves. And even our family members didn't know, except for our moms and our dads. And this went on for about 6 months. And it got to a point where it was bad that, we decided, like, at this point, we were not sleeping through the night. And Dan says, I know you don't want to do chemo, but you have to do it. We'll take the side effects. Like, I'd rather you go through the side effects than me lose you. And so I look at him and I'm thinking to myself, okay, fine. Let me do it for him. Not even for me at this point, for him and my children. And so we go do chemo. At this point now, I had to rope in my family. So my mom posts in our family group and says, by the way, Winnie has been battling breast cancer for a period of time. And the family was like, why didn't you tell us?
Yes.
This is not the kind of thing you go through alone. And they rally themselves and they collect money and they start saying, I was having conversations with God, like, of all the people, because where I was coming from, I could see the people that were walking on the streets, and I'm like, of all the people, you sat down on that throne of yours and decided, that one, that's the one that should have cancer. You must be the most sadistic God there ever has been. If you're listening to me, I was so angry. But you see, at this point, I was speaking from a point of layman understanding of what the Word of God was or is. And during the parts where DIDA had to cry, I was crying, I was mourning for myself. And people were thinking, oh my God, you're such a good actress. I wasn't acting. Every opportunity I got to let out my anger, I did. And I lost so much weight. And guys online were making fun. And I couldn't go out there and tell them, hey guys, you need to stop doing this cyberbullying you're doing because you don't understand what I'm going through. Dan and I are actually not in a good place.
Yeah.
We are not together anymore.
Yeah.
And as much as people would want to focus on that situation from a negative point of view, after going through my heart and whatever, I sit here and say, he's my friend.
Beautiful.
My journey has taught me that the experiences are not my own. You don't choose what you go through, and you cannot control what it is you go through, but you can control how you behave or how you think towards whatever it is you're going through in the moment.
Yeah.
And we go crazy because we try to control what we are going through. Yet sometimes that is what we are meant to be going through.
Ile kidogo uko nayo, if you can support me, I have nothing to give you in return, but you will save my life. Na sikuwa nataka ikwe clip ya machozi. I wanted it to be filled with hope, but where I'm at, I am so frustrated by how expensive healthcare is. And every time I feel like I've made 10 steps forward, I feel like I'm being dragged back 8 steps. And I ask for strength. I thank you so much for praying with me. I am utmostly grateful. I have not made any posters. I just decided to do an appeal. Don't mind my tears. Even strong people break. And this is me, I've reached my breaking point. Like, this journey has been such a turbulent one.
Baby girl, who do you need currently? So.
Cough a lot. She couldn't talk. She couldn't eat. Every time she opened her mouth, she would cough. So this made her life to be so hard. She was so much in pain. You people, a few of you identified with that because she shared with you over the phone. Sometimes she could speak, sometimes she could not speak. But most of the time she was under pain. But she was a strong girl. She stood strong. She fought hard. And she used to encourage me, even at that point, because when I looked at her and she would still pray, when I looked at her and she would still worship, I knew surely God is going to come through for us until the very last hour. So this other time that we went to Turkey, we did not have time for her to complete her treatment because they had to deal with the water, first of all. They had drained water here twice before we left, and there they had to deal with the lung issue. So they did the lung issue, they drained the water, they gave her time to recuperate. Then thereafter, they started the first chemo. But the doctor had already warned us that she's not in a very good state. We should be ready for anything. So I was ready for anything, but not the death part. You know how you hold on to your daughter, to your child. You love them so much, you wouldn't want anything to happen to them. You would rather it is you who goes than them. So the very last of the last, I'll share this because she shared with me. When the doctor told her that the situation is not so good, because the doctor did not open up so much during the first diagnosis, but she had asked me to go and see her privately so that she tells me how bad it was. So our translator told me that, and I didn't want to go and see the doctor alone because I said, since it is a negative report and I already know, I have a picture of what it is, I don't have to go to someone to cement it in my mind that it's really bad because I trust in God. God can change anything. God can work out miracles. So I didn't want my faith to be interfered with. But thereafter, she asked the doctor while we were there and everybody was there, how is the situation? I only had you mention two parts, and the doctor said no, it has gone everywhere. As it is circulating by blood. So we are going to try our best. So we will give you 4 chemotherapies. Thereafter, then we'll decide what happens. But this therapy could not take place because of the water in the lungs. So after they drained the water and she had gained some strength, they did the first chemo, and it was so harsh for her. I think the body also had been given so much drugs, given so much those chemos, because I had asked the doctor, is there any other thing that we can do apart from chemo for this session? Then the doctor said no, it is only chemotherapy that will help her. So we did that, and after the doctor talked to her, she told me, Mom, I want a cheat day. And I said, what is a cheat day? She told me, just leave me alone. I do everything I want when I want. Do not tell me, Mommy, take juice, Mommy, eat fruit. I don't know, do this, take a shower. She didn't want, just leave me alone. So I left her alone. I rushed home to pick up our bag, more clothes. When I came back, she told me, I have had a conversation with God. Then I asked her, what kind of conversation is this? She said, I have told God, if I'm going through this pain and he knows that I'm going to be healed, it is good. I'll fight and I'll hold on. I'll fight to the end, then I get healed. But if he knows that I'm passing through this pain and he's going to let me go, I have told him to let me go just now. Then I asked her, what kind of prayer is this? Then in my mind, I was thinking like, oh, my daughter is depressed, she's sick, she's not thinking right. Let me just leave her alone. So I left her alone. And when I left her for that cheat day, she didn't eat anything until about 5. I was asking her, like, you haven't had anything. Then she would tell me, Mom, shush, I told you, give me, this is my day. So I think she was preparing herself without my knowledge. She only took a bowl of soup that evening. Then the following day, she wasn't talking. We were there. She was on the oxygen because she was under oxygen every time because of the lung issue. As they were draining the water, she couldn't breathe on her own well, but she was fighting on. So the very first day, she was just dozing off. She was speaking under, like if she's not under drugs, she's not very clear. But I thought it was the chemotherapy and the drugs they were giving her. So I told the doctor, please reduce the painkillers. I think you are giving her an overdose. It's just too much. And then she would tell the doctor, I'm feeling so sleepy. I'm feeling so sleepy. I am tired. Then the very last of the last day, she did not eat anything. She did not do anything. That is the very day that I was able to dress her up, to clean her up. All these other times, she did everything. Even as much as we were in the national hospital, she was admitted, she could not let the nurses clean her wound. She had wounds on the breast. She could clean herself, dress herself, and the nurses would do those other things. So at night, she wasn't able to breathe. The doctors were coming in and going out. So as the doctor was preparing for her dose, she just paused. She didn't struggle to go. She just paused like this. Then I called the doctor. He was just there. They came, they did CPR. They tried everything. I was praying in the corridor. They told me to go out. I was praying in the corridor. She didn't respond. They put a tube over her, under her heart to help her heart not to stop. Then they took her to the ICU. I continued praying. I did not go to the ICU. I continued in prayer, trusting in God. And after like an hour, they came for me. They told me, Mama, we are sorry. There's nothing more. The heart stopped. And there's nothing more that we could do. And then they were asking me, are you getting what we are telling you? I told them I am not. They repeated. I told them, I am not getting what you are telling me. What are you saying? I didn't believe that Winnie had already left. But come to think of it later, she was in so much pain. From her side, it is good she rested. But from her parents' side, it is sad she has gone. She has gone so soon. You would want you to go before your child goes. But the ways of the Lord are different from our ways. And we pray that the Lord will sustain us, will help us to come to knowledge and accept everything. So in that regard, there are acknowledgement that I need to give here. First and foremost, to our county, they were there from the very first initial time when we went. They gave us air ticket. They gave her air ticket to go and come back, and they also contributed for us so much during the contribution. The second person that I want to give thanks is the church. They have stood with us, Mount Zion. Thank you so much, Mom and Pastor. You have been there with us during dark hours in hospital, at home, praying for us, crying with us. We really want to acknowledge you. Thank you so much. We also want to acknowledge the media, more so Citizen TV. I know they came through for us last time so much that we went without having the complete amount, and yet they came in and filled the gap. And we did not lack anything. We had everything. All the bills were paid. Thank you so much, and thank you, Lulu. Please, may God bless you so much. Another fraternity I want to thank is Jeffy Pictures, who are Winnie's employers. They were there for her. They let her play that role of DIDA, even when she was sick, when she was weak. They gave her the humble time, and she was really grateful. She used to tell us, I am so grateful that the Citizen TV did not discontinue my part. So she was able to pay her bills, even though she was sick. She was able to take care of herself. Another, I want to thank my family from where I'm married to, the Kwenas and the Aukas, from where I come from. They were there from the very beginning, even before Winnie went public. They were there helping us, contributing for us, money for fruits, money for anything that we wanted, even when she was still undercover, because the cover runs out. When you are suffering from cancer, cancer is a long journey. And it's a painful journey, it's a hard journey, it's an emotional draining journey. They were there for us to walk with us. They gave from the very beginning. Another fraternity I want to give thanks is the fans. Her fans, we are really thankful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have been with us. And last and not least is the medical team that was taking care of her. We are really grateful from the Coast General, from Premier Hospital. We are grateful. Even the Turkey people did a good job. And her legacy is that she has a foundation that she's running, which I'm going to take. She had started running. I'm going to take over. It is called a Bwire Foundation for Cancer. We are already working on. We were paying for people, NHIF. We are going to take, but only for cancer patients who are not able to pay or to renew. Then I'm going also to continue with the legacy that she has left, Scare the Scar, where we are going to let people know the awareness, to create awareness, to teach people how to live healthy and turn around their lives. So that I am so thankful. And finally, I just say thank you for the love you've shown us. Thank you so much.
Shall we appreciate Ma'am Stella for the good job? It's not easy to take care of a cancer patient, and we are forever grateful. Thank you so much, Ma'am. I want to ask Heidi to come and bring the rest of the family members for the time that is